today?
Okay. I've done the membership number refactoring from membership application to user. And I reviewed the PRs that were there. And that's it.
Oh.
Hey, Susanna.
That's me.
Hey, Susanna. Okay, so I just see your PR in there. I'll look at it. For myself, I've, what have I done? Let's see if I can remember. I've reviewed PRs, of course. Put a PR on there that I think everybody's reviewed now. Looks like we can probably merge it. And I think I've been creating a few stories here and there. I did merge my story on multiple email addresses into staging, so we're ready to put it in production. And that's it for me. So Susanna, how about you?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. All right, no problem. Okay, so let's look at where we're at with the PRs, and then look at where we're at with Pivotal Tracker. You said, Robert, you just 2 hours ago.
Yep, that's right.
Got to look at that. This one, I see that I've got 3 approvals. So once I update it, I'll go ahead and merge that.
Okay.
Yep. What else? This one here, I membership number column.
Yes, Susanna had a remark there, and I did a commit, an extra commit for changing the header to something smaller.
Okay. Yeah, so it said membership number spelled out. So now it says membership NO or membership NR. Is that what you?
No, it just says NO or NR.
Oh, that's just it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty shortened. Okay, so that's you've gotten all approvals needed, I guess, then.
Yes, the button I approved too. So
yeah, okay.
If you refresh, it's all green.
Okay, great. Well then, why don't we go? And then I see it coming through there. I'll just squash and merge.
Yep.
Great. Okay. And where else are we here? Let's see. Outstanding and yep. Now this fellow is Francis is now unblocked because of the email thing. Okay.
Do we have any contact with Francis or?
I don't know. I don't know. I think
Ashley was reaching out. Yeah. But...
Yep. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Have you checked the wiki for the meetings notes? I think she wrote something there.
Let's look at that. Oops. Oh, wow, look at that. I think she meant October, but we know what she meant. Yep, we saw that. Yep, those have already been merged, in fact. PRs, weather report.
Oh yeah, there he is, Francis.
Weather affected. So many butterflies are migrating to Denver that moved up the road area stuff. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, what emails are sent can be marked as accepted since we now have the wiki updated, content and formatting. We can create a chart. Okay. All right, we'll do that. Current sprint work. Capistrano. So you'll be able to restart. Oh, good. And Francis showed up, is that right?
Yeah, he said he'd be able, so he didn't show up, but...
Okay. Well, hopefully it does. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention as well, I did start to look at the HIPS payment stuff and got through most of the documentation they have, and I see a little while ago I got an updated Ruby file from them, kind of with an illustration how to use the checkout API. which I expect to be fairly simple. It looks like it's a pretty clean API, but I haven't had a chance to look at that yet. Okay, so that's a good segue into this. We can now accept the email. We showed that to the client as well, Robert, in the client meeting, and she was very happy with what she saw. And she liked the fact that it looked like MailChimp, all the emails look alike, et cetera, et cetera. And also, she was good with the multiple email addresses, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that. I held off on that because I saw something somewhat flaky when I was demoing it to her, but it turned out not to be an issue. Okay, so in terms of where we're at now in our current iteration, which is 26. Is this, are you working on this one, Robert? Search and sort by membership number?
Yeah, that one is blocked now because of the
membership number.
Membership number refactoring.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm surprised looking at your PR. It looked like, I thought it was going to be more extensive than it turned out to be. It's pretty clean.
Yeah, because membership number isn't used in the views much. So there's not many feature tests that fail after changing it. There were only some specs.
That helps.
Half of the specs or something failed. But yeah.
Okay, and this one here has got approval. I haven't merged it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and finish because I will merge it after the call here, probably sometime this afternoon. Let's see, that one's still underway. That's Ashley and Susanna working on that. Still looking at refactoring. Do we need to do anything right now? I think the answer is not right now, but we may have to in the future. Now, especially when we've got this membership number refactored. That was the last big one, I think, facing us with our current structure, I believe.
Well, there's another one with the company number.
The org number.
Yeah.
Yep, this one here. Yeah, you're right. Okay. And let's see. That's the one that you've just worked on. Should I go in? We haven't reviewed that yet, so we'll leave that outstanding. And this one here, that was fixed, I believe, right? 373?
I think it was even merged.
I think it was merged, yeah.
I'm not sure. I saw it somewhere, yeah.
I think you're right. 373, yeah, it's there. Okay, so we're good on that one too. And accept. All right. I did move some of the bugs that we had earlier up to the top of the backlog, if anybody wants to move any of those in. I think we have pretty good queue of things to work on right now. I don't know if we need to move anything in there right now, but if we did, I think this org number refactoring should be. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, I'm not allowed to do that for some reason, even though we're in manual planning. Anyway, so that would be a good one if somebody wants to take. This one is the design, to come up with the design so we can talk about it. I've actually started this, so I'm going to click on that. When you start something, it actually moves it over there because by default it is in the current iteration. You're working on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Only if one or more. Actually, that would be a good one to work on too. Okay, so there's plenty of stuff here as well as in the backlog if anybody wants to pull it in. And let's see, anything else? I think that's pretty much it. So I'll look at your PR later today, Robert. Probably in pretty good shape. I'll merge that.
That would be great because it's well, the rest of the stories are depending on it. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, the multiple addresses also was blocking at least three other stories. I know that too. So that's all helpful. And I think that's it. Well, a very short meeting today then, maybe. Huh?
Very short.
How'd that happen?
We must be missing something. Oh, the weather.
We'll blame it on Ashley that our meetings go on for too long. Not at all. Hi, Ashwin. Hello? Hi, Ashwin. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. So we actually just pretty much finished everything up, but You're interested in? Oh, that's okay. You're interested in looking at this project for participation?
Absolutely, yes, I am.
Okay. Have you had a chance to review the documentation on Davy's site, in particular GitHub, and maybe start trying to stand up the app?
No, I have not actually. I was just looking at the links that you sent me, the Rails, the course and all that other stuff.
The what?
The Rails course on EDX, and then you sent me something else.
Was that me? It must have been. Must have been somebody else. I don't remember.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That was Sam. No, never mind. Never mind. That was. Yeah, my bad.
Do you have a Ruby background or other programming background?
Yes. So I have learned a little Ruby. I don't really have a programming background at all. Actually, I took some basic Java courses in college, but then I hated it in college, and this was 2 years ago. And then I worked in advertising, and I quit 2 months ago because I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I hate advertising, and I suddenly like programming. And so I've been studying, and so I got a job as a waiter. Actually, I started this week, and so I'm going to be doing that to pay the bills. And I want to learn programming because this is what I want to get into, and I actually like it. Advertising is like, it doesn't pay much, and I hated it. So it's like I'm selling my soul to the devil for nothing. You know? That's why most people are like, because they can't wrap their heads around that I quit a white collar job and I'm waitering right now. But I mean, I know what I'm going to do, so it's just temporary. And so that's why I like what you guys are doing, because one, because for the longest time, I've been thinking about giving back. And this is an excellent way to give back. And on top of that, I'm actually getting real world experience programming. So it just works all around.
Okay, great. So where are you located, Ashwin?
Dallas.
Oh, you're in Dallas. Okay, I saw you were behind me. Okay, that's a good time as well, time zone. So I'm in the East Coast.
Okay.
And Robert's in the Netherlands, and Susanna is in Sweden.
Wow, awesome.
And Sweden is where the organization exists that we're doing this work for, Swedish Dog Industry Association, a nonprofit. They're not a charity, but they're nonprofit.
Okay.
And so we get to exercise their skills and build an awesome website for them.
Well, what's the difference between a charity and a nonprofit? I thought it was the same thing.
Well, a charity usually has an intent to do some kind of public good or help people in some way, etc. A nonprofit doesn't have to be charitable in its efforts, but it has to have the objective of not making a profit and providing, some kind of offer or service other than charitable stuff. Really, this organization serves to have small, and these Susanna can describe it better than me, but most of the companies that are a member of this trade industry association are small mom and pop operations.
Okay. And
they do various dog services ranging from, running a kennel or dog walking to more sophisticated stuff, dog training. And,
well, it's like 90% dog trainers and some behaviorists, and then we're getting more and more like doggy daycares and groomers, things like that.
Okay.
Yep.
And all of them has to be ethical.
Okay, I see. That's important.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a vetting process they go through to become a member of the organization, in which they're looked at and all that's confirmed. So
that's one thing about because I'm originally from India. I've been here for like 8 or 9 years, and the way Europeans and Americans treat and deal with animals and pets is so different from how we treat them in India. In fact, they're treated better than a lot of humans over here. So it took me a while to get used to that. But then, yeah, now I've started to treat them like family too. But I mean, not that I didn't love animals, but it's just a completely different level that you don't see back in India.
Yeah. So it's a fun project. It's also small enough you can really get your arms around the organization and what it's trying to do and make an impact.
Wonderful.
It's an interesting domain to learn about, this whole trade association membership thing. So it's fun. And the team is good. We work well together. Got a mix of various skills. Coming in as a beginner is no problem at all. We can help out with that, definitely. Yeah, so that would be good. So what I would suggest is if you want to dive into looking at the GitHub documentation
Okay.
and try to start standing up the application, install it, and run it.
Mm-hmm.
And reach out to any one of us, or reach out just to the general channel for help, and one of us will respond, and we'll connect up. And so we meet, you'll see there, I think we have that on our wiki, but we meet every Monday and Thursday, twice a week. We also do meetings other than that as the need arises. This weekend I did a pair programming with Ashley, who's not on this call right now. So 2 regular weekly meetings for the team, and then we have a client meeting on Tuesday. We have 2-week sprints. Okay. So every 2 weeks we meet with the client on Tuesday and go over what we've done. Mm-hmm. If you're familiar with the Agile software development process, you specify a particular period called a sprint in which you develop software. At the end of the sprint, you produce working software. Okay. You try to, at least a little bit, if not a lot, and then you review that with the client, and they accept or reject. If they accept, you move it into production. If they reject, you work on it further. So we follow Agile processes as much as we can, and as much as makes sense for a very distributed, part-time, volunteer-driven team. Yeah. So we make changes to it different than what you do if you're a full-time commercial team co-located. Okay. But we do try to follow Agile as much as possible.
Wonderful.
So, whole other area for you to learn, Agile software development methodology. If you haven't looked into that, you should spend some time looking at that too. Good to learn about. So any questions for us right now we can help you with, Ashwin, before you dive in? And
well, again, that's the thing. I haven't even looked at the documentation or anything. I mean, looking at it is one thing, and then seeing if I'll actually understand it is the next, because I'm so brand new. As I said, Sam gave me some resources to look at, and I've also been doing some courses on my own. So I guess, honestly, more of what I have to do is actually learn the stuff before I can actually be useful. So maybe initially I won't be too useful to the team, but eventually I hope that will change.
Okay. Well, the edX courses, it sounds like Sam pointed you to, are really great. There's the 2 courses, Agile Software Development using Ruby on Rails, probably the best 2 MOOC courses I have ever taken, and I've taken quite a few. Okay. Absolutely astoundingly good. Also, I think one of the major hurdles for somebody new to this arena is learning a major tool called Git, which is our software configuration management tool. Mm-hmm. It tends to be a little difficult to learn for a beginner. On our wiki, there are a couple of pages talking about how to create a feature, and it goes into the mechanics of Git. Okay. And how to rebase your feature branch if things change and you've got to update your feature branch relative to things that have changed in production. Okay. So hopefully those little bit of mechanics help you get through that hurdle without spending hours learning the intricacies of Git, which is, I don't want to make it sound more difficult than it is, but it can be a little difficult to get used to.
Okay.
So that should be helpful too.
Wonderful.
Any other words of advice from Robert or Susanna at this point?
No, not really. Well, try to get the system up and running as fast as you can, so you can get into it a bit.
Yep.
And there's a good wiki page for that too.
Okay. And it's all on the Agile Ventures website?
No, it's on our GitHub site.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Which is linked to from Agile.
I might be able to get to it.
Yeah. And if you've got any questions, just ask them in the Slack channel, and one of us will probably answer.
Yep, no, absolutely. And maybe even correctly. So the other thing is when you first go to the GitHub site, the first page is the README for the project, and that contains the installation instructions. So, and it's been, hopefully it'll work for you. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us, and we'll help get through some hurdles.
Sounds like a plan. Or do you all have any other advice for me?
What's that?
Do you all have any other advice for me?
No, other than persevere. It's difficult when you first start out in this stuff, and because it's all new. The other thing is about this is that the technology stack contains about a dozen different technologies.
Okay.
You know, CSS, HTML, Ruby, SQL, etc. You name it, it's there. Ours is not actually that complex a technology stack as some of the projects out there, because they tack on JavaScript frameworks on top of Ruby on Rails, on top of, you name it. So it's somewhat vanilla, but even with that, there's a lot of different technologies stacked on top of each other. Don't get discouraged by that. It'll come to you eventually.
Okay.
Just break it down and attack a piece at a time.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. All right, cool. Welcome.
Great.
Glad you're here.
So we'll see each other on Monday.
On Monday.
Yep.
Sounds perfect.
All right, great. Thanks all.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.